All right, picture this. It's a crisp Tuesday morning in a packed train station. A seemingly healthy adult is walking just ahead of you. No signs of distress, nothing out of the ordinary at all. And then, in a fraction of a second, the lights go out.
Okay, let's dive right into this, because this sudden collapse in a crowded place is where our story actually starts, and it throws us smack in the middle of a terrifying emergency. I mean, 1 second, our survivor is just walking along, right? Their heart is perfectly orchestrating the flow of oxygenated blood to the brain and vital organs. But the very next second, they hit the ground. The people around them freeze. Is it a trip? Maybe a seizure? Did they just faint? No. Deep inside their chest, the heart has abruptly and catastrophically just stopped pumping blood. Circulation has completely ceased. The brain is instantly starved of oxygen. So this isn't just a minor medical event. It's a profound, immediate fight for survival where every single passing second is violently tearing away their chances of waking up again.
Now, to understand exactly what just happened, we have to look at what's going on under the hood. Medically speaking, cardiac arrest is a sudden loss of heart function caused by an electrical malfunction. You see, your heart isn't just some mechanical pump. It's got its own built-in electrical system that dictates the rhythm and the power of every single heartbeat. In cardiac arrest, that internal electrical grid just goes completely haywire. It short circuits. So instead of a strong, coordinated beat pushing blood throughout the body, the heart muscle just starts quivering chaotically. It's literally vibrating. And because it's not squeezing, absolutely zero blood is making it to the brain or the other vital organs.
And this brilliantly illustrates one of the most common and honestly most dangerous misconceptions out there. People use the terms cardiac arrest and heart attack interchangeably all the time, right? But they are completely different medical emergencies. Think of a heart attack as a plumbing issue. It happens when a blocked artery stops oxygen-rich blood from reaching a specific section of the heart. During a heart attack, the heart is usually still beating, but the tissue is actually dying. Cardiac arrest, like we just saw, is an electrical failure. The heart stops beating entirely. Now, a heart attack, that plumbing problem, can definitely trigger an electrical problem and lead to cardiac arrest. But in a sudden cardiac arrest itself, the main issue is simply that the power has completely shut off.
Now, I said earlier that our survivor collapsed without warning, but is that actually true? Well, sometimes yes, but often the body whispers before it screams. In the days or even hours leading up to that sudden collapse in the station, our survivor might have actually felt some subtle warning signs. We're talking chest pain, unexplained palpitations where it feels like your heart is just fluttering, maybe some shortness of breath, sudden dizziness, a minor fainting episode, or even just extreme, uncharacteristic fatigue. These are super subtle, really easily dismissed signs. People blame them on stress or a bad night's sleep or even just a heavy meal. But these can actually be the critical, fleeting warnings of a massive, impending electrical storm in the heart.
So what's truly terrifying is the sheer diversity of what can actually pull the plug on the heart's electrical system. Like, why does it even happen? The major causes are kind of all over the map. Yes, underlying coronary artery disease or a prior heart attack are massive triggers, for sure. But we also see things like dangerous arrhythmias, specifically what doctors call ventricular fibrillation and ventricular tachycardia. That's where the lower chambers of the heart beat so insanely fast and out of sync that they just can't pump blood. Then you've got structural issues like cardiomyopathy or congenital heart defects. But get this, it can also strike from totally external factors: a drug overdose, electrocution, a severe electrolyte imbalance, or even drowning and respiratory failure. It really is a terrifyingly equal opportunity killer.
Let's track how this plays out second by second, because this is really where the suspense of our survivor's story hits its absolute peak. We are going to follow the literal biological progression of oxygen deprivation. Between 0 and 10 seconds of the heart stopping, the brain runs out of oxygen, causing an instant loss of consciousness. Boom, they hit the floor. At 30 seconds, breathing becomes totally abnormal, often presenting as this scary gasping sound, or what medical professionals call agonal breathing. Fast forward to the 1 to 4 minute mark. Brain injury officially begins. The actual cells in the brain start to die off. Between 4 and 10 minutes, the risk of severe, irreversible brain damage absolutely skyrockets. This isn't some abstract concept of time. This is the literal fading away of a human life right there on the pavement.
10 minutes. If someone's heart stops and they do not receive any intervention, beyond 10 minutes, they are facing an exceptionally high mortality risk. The biological ticking clock is absolutely deafening here. Literally every single minute that passes without blood flow decreases their chance of survival by roughly 10%. Think about that. By the time an ambulance is called, dispatched, navigates through heavy city traffic, and the paramedics actually run into that crowded station with their gear, those 10 minutes might already be entirely gone. The window for action isn't just short, it is impossibly, terrifyingly fleeting.
So, I want to break the fourth wall right now and ask you a direct question. If you were there, standing in that train station, just holding your morning coffee, and you watched this healthy person collapse, what would you do next? Honestly, would you freeze? Would you assume, oh, someone else is going to handle it? Because the stark reality we've just uncovered in this explainer is that waiting for professional medical help is very often a death sentence. The survival of the person on that floor depends entirely, 100%, on the immediate actions of the bystanders around them. It depends on you.
So let's walk through exactly how you step up and take control of this emergency. It actually breaks down into 4 critical, truly empowering steps. Step 1, recognize it. If they are unresponsive and not breathing normally, like if they're just gasping, you need to assume it's cardiac arrest. Step 2, call emergency services immediately. Don't just yell for help, point to someone specific and say, hey, you in the red shirt, call an ambulance. Step 3, perform high-quality CPR. Push hard and fast right in the center of the chest. You are literally acting as their mechanical heart, forcing that blood up to their brain to keep those cells alive. And step 4, use an AED, an automated external defibrillator. Send someone else to find one immediately. Don't be intimidated by them. These machines literally speak to you, they tell you exactly what to do out loud, and they are designed for absolutely anyone to use.
So the crucial point is this: rapid CPR and defibrillation dramatically increase survival. It really is that simple. CPR buys you precious time. It keeps the brain oxygenated and prevents that irreversible damage we tracked in the timeline. But the AED, that is what actually fixes the electrical malfunction. It delivers a highly controlled shock that briefly stops the chaotic quivering of the heart. That pause allows the heart's natural pacemaker to step back in and reset to a normal, life-sustaining rhythm. Together, CPR and an AED are the literal bridge between sudden death and a very real second chance at life.
Now, let's pause for a second and just rewind the clock. Before that dramatic collapse ever happened in the station, could our survivor have changed the narrative? Well, while cardiac arrest can happen to anyone, the vast majority of cases are heavily tied to underlying heart health. We're talking about maintaining a healthy diet, getting regular exercise, and strictly controlling blood pressure, cholesterol, and diabetes. Quitting smoking is huge. Getting regular cardiac checkups to catch those hidden structural issues or silent arrhythmias before they erupt, even prioritizing stress reduction and getting adequate sleep. These aren't just trendy wellness buzzwords. They are the literal armor that protects your heart's electrical grid and stops that terrifying countdown clock before it ever begins.
But let's go back to our survivor in the train station. Because a bystander recognized the signs, because they immediately started chest compressions, and because someone ran and grabbed that AED off the wall and delivered a shock within those critical first few minutes, the entire narrative shifts. The survivor actually returns to a normal life. We get to see those incredible recovery milestones: waking up in the ICU, being discharged from the hospital, going through cardiac rehab, and eventually returning to work, hugging their family, walking down that exact same street again. A life completely restored, a timeline completely rewritten, entirely thanks to the prompt, fearless actions of a bystander who just refused to stand by.
And that brings us to the most important takeaway of this entire explainer. Every second counts. Learn CPR, save a life. It's incredibly sobering to realize just how fragile our internal electrical system really is, but it's equally empowering to know that your bare hands can actually reverse death if you just act fast enough. We've seen the science, we've walked through the timeline, and we've seen the incredible outcome of prompt action. So I'm going to leave you with this final, provocative thought. If the person walking right in front of you drops tomorrow, are you prepared to be the one who steps up and saves their life?